If you were not looking closely at the way Serena Baldwin subtly shifted her gaze away from Michael Corinthos and down to those deception financial ledgers in that final scene, you completely missed the real story that is about to unfold. The camera lingered for just a fraction of a second on her hands tightening around that folder, a microscopic shift in body language that flipped the entire narrative upside down. We are not watching a woman plotting a romantic seduction. We are watching a brilliant tactician preparing for a corporate bloodbath. For those of us who have been watching this magnificent show for decades, this subtle shift brings a rush of nostalgia that takes us straight back to the golden era of soap operas. Think back to the late 1990s and early 2000s, a time when the boardroom was just as dangerous, if not more so, than the dark alleys on the docks. I am vividly reminded of the legendary corporate takeover battles involving Edward Quartermain, the sheer ruthlessness of the ELQ wars, and the early cutthroat days of deception when Lucy Coe was fighting tooth and nail to build her empire. Back then, long-term storytelling was built on the foundation of corporate espionage, hidden agendas, and the kind of high-stakes maneuvering that kept us glued to our television sets. We watched legacy characters use their intellect, rather than just their romantic wiles, to secure power and protect their families. It was a time of brilliant minds clashing over stock portfolios and hostile takeovers. Today, we are witnessing a brilliant return to that classic formula. The writers are setting the stage for a massive battle over the control of deception, and contrary to what many fans are predicting on the message boards, the central focus of the upcoming weeks will not be Michael Corinthos' tangled love life. The romantic drama is merely a smokescreen, a clever distraction designed to keep us looking the wrong way while the real war is being waged in the executive suites. Michael is currently sitting at the helm of a company that is bleeding from 1,000 hidden cuts, facing a crisis of manipulation that threatens to destroy everything Lucy Coe built. And stepping into this chaotic arena is Serena Baldwin, a woman whose true intentions have been wildly misunderstood by the audience and the characters alike. Many viewers have prematurely assumed that Serena has returned to Port Charles simply to serve as a romantic rival for Michael, a quick obstacle to throw into his path to create a love triangle. But if you ask me, that assumption completely ignores her character integrity. Serena is a legacy character, the daughter of Scott Baldwin and the late Dominique Taub, raised with the fierce, unyielding spirit of Lucy Coe. She would never reduce herself to merely chasing after a man who is already entangled in a messy web of relationships. Instead, Serena is choosing a completely different, far more sophisticated approach. She is positioning herself as Michael's most trusted ally, the calm in the center of his corporate storm. She is stepping up to help him stabilize the company after a series of devastating, inexplicable setbacks, proving her worth through sheer competence rather than cheap flirtation. By presenting herself as an indispensable asset, Serena is systematically gaining Michael's absolute trust. We are watching him slowly let his guard down, granting her unprecedented access to Deception's most sensitive documents, internal memos, and high-level executive meetings. But Serena's ultimate goal is not Michael's heart, it is the absolute truth. I firmly believe she is conducting a secret, high-stakes investigation to uncover the identity of the Phantom Puppet Master who has been manipulating Deception from the shadows. She is meticulously tracking the bizarre stock acquisitions, the irregular shareholder votes, and the disastrous executive decisions that have plunged the company into crisis. Serena is following the money, and the closer she gets to unmasking the culprit, the more dangerous her position becomes. The real enemies of Deception are beginning to panic, realizing that Serena is peeling back their layers of deception. While Serena is playing a Grandmaster's game of corporate chess, Jacinda Bracken is playing checkers, completely blinded by her own crippling insecurities. Jacinda is looking at this complex situation through the narrow, distorted lens of jealousy. She sees Michael spending long hours locked in the boardroom with Serena, poring over spreadsheets and strategizing late into the night, and she immediately assumes the absolute worst. In Jacinda's mind, Serena is not a corporate savior. She is a romantic predator attempting to usurp her position in Michael's life. This blinding jealousy is causing Jacinda to lose all sense of rationality and perspective. She is failing to evaluate the actual threats surrounding her, choosing instead to focus all her paranoid energy on a woman who is genuinely trying to save her boyfriend's company from total ruin. Driven to the brink by her own paranoia, Jacinda decides that she cannot rely on Michael to see the truth about Serena. Instead, she resolves to take matters into her own hands, crafting a reckless and desperate plan to eliminate the perceived threats to her relationship. I predict that Jacinda is going to construct a malicious scheme aimed at destroying not only Serena Baldwin but also Willow Kane. In Jacinda's twisted logic, if she can somehow engineer a scenario where Serena is permanently removed from the picture and Willow is completely discredited or incapacitated, she will emerge as the ultimate victor, the only woman left standing by Michael's side. It is a pathetic, desperate strategy, born of weakness rather than strength, and it is a move that will inevitably backfire in the most spectacular fashion imaginable. What Jacinda fails to realize is that by stepping into the arena of sabotage, she is painting a massive target on her own back. She is a novice swimming in waters infested with seasoned sharks. Her amateurish attempts to plot against Serena and Willow will inadvertently expose her to individuals who are far more dangerous, ruthless, and experienced in the art of destruction. There are two distinct, highly dramatic possibilities for how Jacinda's impending downfall will play out, and both scenarios promise to deliver the kind of edge-of-your-seat suspense that we veteran fans live for. The writers are weaving a tapestry of betrayal that is about to explode right in Jacinda's face. The first possibility is that Serena Baldwin, with her sharp intellect and deep understanding of corporate espionage, anticipates Jacinda's attack long before it happens. If Serena is truly the seasoned operator I believe her to be, she will easily see through Jacinda's transparent machinations. When Jacinda finally makes her move, attempting to corner or physically threaten Serena, she will be met with a swift and devastating counterattack. I can vividly picture a confrontation where Jacinda lunges, only to be effortlessly outmaneuvered, resulting in Jacinda suffering a severe blow to the head and falling completely unconscious. Serena, prioritizing her secret investigation over a petty catfight, might simply step over her fallen adversary and vanish into the night, leaving behind a mysterious crime scene that will completely baffle the Port Charles Police Department and leave them grasping at straws. However, there is a second, far more sinister and thrilling direction the writers could take, one that perfectly aligns with the recent, magnificent evolution of Willow Kane's character. What if Serena is completely innocent of the attack on Jacinda? What if the person who actually strikes the devastating blow is none other than Willow? We all remember when Michael and Willow were touted as the next great super couple, the moral compasses of Port Charles. But look at them now. We have watched Willow descend into a dark, morally bankrupt place recently, orchestrating hit and runs, framing innocent people like Brooke Lynn, and manipulating everyone around her to maintain her pristine public image. If Willow discovers that Jacinda is secretly plotting to ruin her, she will not hesitate to strike first. Willow has transformed into a woman who will do absolutely anything to protect her secrets and her standing in the community, even if it means resorting to brutal, premeditated violence. Imagine the sheer brilliance of this twist. Willow, operating with cold, calculated precision, ambushes Jacinda, knocking her unconscious or worse, to neutralize the threat she poses. But Willow, ever the masterful manipulator, would not stop there. She would immediately realize the golden opportunity to solve two massive problems with one single stone. Knowing that Serena Baldwin was the last person seen arguing with or standing near Jacinda, Willow would meticulously plant evidence to frame Serena for the vicious assault. By doing so, Willow eliminates Jacinda's interference and simultaneously removes Serena, a highly competent woman who might eventually uncover Willow's own financial or personal misdeeds, from Michael's orbit. It is a diabolical, brilliant move that showcases the absolute destruction of Willow's former innocence, a character arc that is as tragic as it is utterly captivating. This explosive turn of events will place Michael Corinthos in an agonizing, impossible dilemma. On one side, he will have Serena Baldwin, the brilliant, steadfast ally who has been working tirelessly to save his company and uncover the financial rot threatening deception. On the other side, he will have his current girlfriend, Jacinda, lying unconscious in a hospital bed or completely missing, the apparent victim of a brutal crime. The evidence, carefully manufactured by Willow, will point directly at Serena, forcing Michael to choose between his intellect and his emotions. Meanwhile, the true culprit, Willow Kane, will be standing right beside him, offering fake sympathy and manipulating his grief to ensure that Serena takes the fall for her own heinous crime. It is a classic soap opera setup, a web of lies so thick and tangled that it will require a miracle to unravel. Ultimately, this violent climax will trigger a massive unprecedented investigation that will tear through the halls of deception like a hurricane. When the police, the WSB, and the panicked shareholders begin to deeply scrutinize the events surrounding Jacinda's attack, they will inevitably start auditing the company's financial records. The secrets that have been buried for months, the embezzlement, the hidden stock transfers, the manipulative boardroom maneuvers will be dragged kicking and screaming into the harsh light of day. Michael will finally be forced to open his eyes and realize that the war he has been fighting was never about romance or jealousy. It was a ruthless, calculated battle for absolute corporate control, and he has been a pawn in a much larger game. In the end, it will be Serena Baldwin's meticulous groundwork that helps Michael unmask the true mastermind behind Deception's downfall, vindicating her character and solidifying her legacy in Port Charles. And as for Willow Kane, the walls are rapidly closing in. If the authorities uncover the truth about her attack on Jacinda and her desperate attempt to frame Serena, she will lose everything she has fought so dirty to keep. My dear friends, this is exactly why we continue to tune in day after day, year after year. The landscape of Port Charles may shift, and our beloved characters may walk down dark and unrecognizable paths, but the enduring thrill of a beautifully executed long-term mystery remains the beating heart of this show. I, for one, cannot wait to see how this magnificent corporate war unfolds, and my passion for this incredible drama remains as steadfast and unwavering as ever.